Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this Friday night, The Wacky Woo. Of course, tonight, it's JSNIP4 and Julie from Maison Jupiter. You can find Julie here at Maison Jupiter on YouTube and also on the web at maisonjupiter.com. Julie, welcome back to the show.
Hi Joe, hi JC.
Hey.
Excited to have you. And of course, our regular co-host for the Wacky Woo series, Mr. JSNIP4. You can find him at JSNIP4 here on YouTube and also on his Patreon at patreon.com/JSNIP4. Joe, how's it going, man?
Good. A lot of stuff going on these days, man. We're staying busy.
Goddamn right, dude. I was doing the special edition show last night with Janine on Ukraine. I'm like, I don't have time for this shit. I need my beauty sleep, man. I've barely recovered from all that Ottawa reporting, and now here we go again. Like, it's just been crazy. And you know what's funny, Joe? We're going to get into some of the WebBot data stuff here tonight quite a bit, but a couple of months ago, Cliff had told us as well that when this starts, we won't have the peak and then release and then peak and then release. We're just going to have peak and then peak, like almost no release time. And of course, he sent you and I quite a few emails today. Man, the guy was on fire here, exploring some of his latest WebBot data, forecasting what's to come. Where do you want to start, Joe, tonight? We have so much on the slide deck here. And thank you, everyone, first of all, for joining us on this live interactive show. We will be putting your comments up on the board as we go. And also, if we have time, we'll take your questions. This is, of course, a wacky Friday, and who knows what could happen. Joe, where do we want to start tonight?
Let's start with just some, I sent my stuff some things to talk about in videos. And I'm like, well, we might as well just cover them. And tonight we'll start there. Then we can maybe get into Cliff emails and wherever it leads us.
And yes, folks, we'll talk about crypto and silver. Don't you worry. All right, Joe, let's get into some wacky stuff. Do you have your dream escape journal there? Is that where we're starting today?
Well, I'll get into that after this. I want to read some of the headlines I sent myself basically to talk about.
Okay.
One of the things, and if you can mute yourself real quick.
Okay.
A little bit of feedback. All right. So, just in America's largest microchip company, NVIDIA, has said that there was a cyber attack that happened, I guess today or last night or something, completely compromising some of their key critical systems at the company. So NVIDIA is really known for their graphics card, chipsets and the high-end video cards for gaming and things like that, which of course they've made their custom ones for the Xbox, and I'm not sure if they're in the PlayStation, 4, whatever the hell number they're on now of PlayStations, but interesting because they do other chips too, but that's what they're known for. So like that just happened, and I keep reminding people like the same people that brought you COVID-19 training scenario back in 2019, and it played out textbook perfect as to their training scenario, brought us Cyber Polygon, I think was the name of that training exercise, right? I think it was right after that or whatever. And where this computer virus starts spreading across the world, shutting down systems, hacking, whatever the damage is. They didn't say specifically what it would do. And you turn your things off, you turn it back on, it just starts taking back over where it left off. So you can't really turn it back on. It's spreading across the planet. So they had to, this is right from their thing. It said they even had to shut down certain areas, like giant areas, to stop this thing, because as soon as the power came back on, all the smart devices and your computers and everything would just start spreading the virus more, and it would just more damage. So that was their scenario. So you can hear in one ear the mainstream propaganda media, Russia gears up for cyber attack. Russia's gearing up for cyber attack. So they're letting us know. And by the way, don't think for 1 second it's Russia in my book, but that's the story. That's the headlines. So they're again, Russia. Everything's always Russia.
Well, hold on. There's Russia, but there's also this, of course. President Pretendency Biden here was presented with a wide menu of options here for massive cyber attacks against Russia. So these are the games they're playing right now, and NVIDIA could be an example of them retaliating also, because a lot of people use those cards for mining crypto. I don't know if you want to tie that into that, but anyways, keep going, Joe.
Yep. So that's one thing. We've got my ICBM dream. So we'll go, I'll just, I don't need to show any pictures really. They're all over the place. Twitter, all over the place. They've got these big, 12-wheeled, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 wheeled big trucks with their only thing that they would do is hold a gigantic ICBM missile, which, for those of you who don't know what that stands for, intercontinental ballistic missile, meaning it can go from continent to different continents very far. And they're saying these are pictures taken from Western Russia, blah, 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 blah. So I see that and I go, I think I had a dream about an ICBM missile not too long ago. But what I had asked at the time was, because Dick Algar and those guys in the remote viewing, they were focusing on, was it the cargo ship? No, the mushroom cloud, the mushroom clouds that they were seeing.
Yeah. And
some of them were like drawing it like a real nuke went off. And then, shortly after that, I was like, oh, well, we had a volcano go off and this big blast came out of the volcano. So, okay, that was it. And they're like, yeah, that was it. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, and those guys are good. There's no ever, I'll say something bad about them because they're good at what they do. But again, it takes interpretation of some of the things they saw. They didn't see a missile coming in and blowing up, right? They just saw a mushroom cloud was the big thing. So I'm doing my thing at night. Spirit, could you please show me what that is? What is it of, what is the mushroom cloud? That was my question. And I said right here, September 4th, 2021, asked Spirit about the mushroom clouds the remote viewers saw. They showed me ICBMs, and one in particular at a gas station that people did not want to get close to, meaning it hadn't blasted off yet. It was perhaps parked. Maybe it was going to go up or whatever. But one of those vehicles, that's what I saw. In particular, at a gas station. So one of these ICBMs in particular was at a gas station that people did not want to get close to for fear of radiation or chemical exposure. Now imagine me getting this in a freaking dream. Oh, it was just a volcano. And I'm going, okay, hey, I'm not perfect. Maybe they showed me that for some reason and it's got something to do with the volcano, but how? Why are they showing me a gas station? People are scared to get even close to the thing because they don't know if it has a nuclear warhead on it. And if it has a nuclear warhead, they don't want to be anywhere near it because maybe it's leaking a little bit of radiation or, whatever people are thinking. Or chemical weapon exposure. I remember watching a missile launch from California out over the bay. Now, that doesn't mean that this was an ICBM, the second part of the dream. But I just remember seeing a missile launch from California out over the bay. Another scene, I was in a building with lots of kids. We were picking up candy off the ground and putting it into bags. I'm like, question mark, Halloween? Because Halloween was the next month. I'm going, what am I don't know what the hell that had to do with anything. But maybe we're going to see something in the future. A building gets bombed. That was listen, propaganda press 101. And I've got some stuff I've already sent myself to talk about tonight. Complete fake, using two photos. One photo for here 2 years ago, another photo today saying this is Ukraine. It's the same fake lady with the scratching, scarred up face. It's the same effing lady. Yeah. Total fraud. So is it possible we're going to see scenes of children in a school system and stuff scattered on the floor like I'm seeing them picking up candy and stuff off the floor? I don't know. And I just want to add this one because I do remember this one without having to look it up. I saw a big ship getting hit by like planes or shooting stuff at it, whether that's bullets or little missiles or whatever. It was shooting at this thing. I was inside the ship. This is probably around that time, around the ICBM dream, or maybe after that a little bit, not far. And Fred Flintstone. So
wait a second. Hold on. Hold on. Linda, let me do I look like Fred Flintstone?
Come to think of it.
Yeah, but no, I don't know.
We need to laugh. We need to laugh right now. People need to laugh.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this ship was being attacked, and I got the feeling I think it might have been like a Navy type of a ship that I was on. I was inside below deck when this was happening, and I think I did a video when it did happen, the dream, anyways. And I go, oh hey, well, I just read today that a Turkish ship was at Ukraine's port or leaving or something and got hit with a bomb, and they said it was from Russia, but no one got hurt. The ship actually just kept going, limped away. I guess nothing really major, no casualties or anything like that. So I thought, well, that's interesting, but not exactly what I saw with my dream. So again, I just want to throw that out there because I saw that happening today. So I have ICBM things in the news. I've got the bomb ship in the news, and I've got two dreams close together about a ship being bombed essentially or attacked in some way, and a freaking ICBM pictures of Russia. So
Well,
that's
let's get into some of the stuff that Cliff was talking about earlier today. But before we go into that, Julie, in the astrology right now, anything you're picking up? You and I had talked about these outages, these cyber attacks. Now also maybe the threat of some ICBMs, maybe some bombs and stuff, and also flooding. There's quite a few things that tie into the conversation tonight. Why don't you take the next couple of minutes here and maybe share one of the segments here that's also coming up in the Astro Woo for finance for the month of March. What would you like to share with the audience here with respect to either the outages or maybe some of the flooding? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, let's start by this aspect that we have right now. It's an orb right now, but it's going to peak on February 27 to March 4. So this is the Mercury-Saturn conjunction. So every time... Oh, I haven't...
Can you mute, JC?
Yeah.
Thanks. So every time those two planets meet, it's like Saturn tries to gain more control, so there's more restrictions, and Mercury's communication and also social media. So it could be a tentative of getting more control by the government. It could be restricting some people from communicating information. So I wrote in the last point, it might be more censorship on social platforms, but I forgot to add to this list scammers and hackers, because this is a big energy for that conjunction. We had it in, I think back in January when Mercury was retrograde. It was the same aspect, but Mercury was retrograde. And back when it happened, we heard a lot about people being called by scammers. We got hackers hacking like big websites. So yeah, it's an orb again this time, but Mercury is direct. So we can expect some more of those types of events. And also, when I was preparing for the Astro Woo for the month of March, I thought there was a lot of interesting stuff in the astrology, first of all. But one of them is that we're going to have lots of planets in the sign of Pisces. So we're going to have Jupiter, Neptune, the Sun, and also Mercury at one point in the month, all together in the sign of Pisces. So what happens when we have that much energy in the sign of Pisces is that it gets very, very emphasized. And Pisces is the sign of dissolution. So it's not really good per se for everything that is very material, because Pisces is more the connection with the divine, the dissolution of material stuff. So I was wondering if there was a link maybe with the month of March and the economy, and what Cliff was saying with the eyes of March, because every year we have the season of Pisces while it's around that time. So end of February until March, end of March. So Pisces season pretty much is, it talks about disconnecting from the 3D world. It's more, we can access more of the divine energy during that season. So it's not really good for, say, for everything that is more materialistic. So finances are usually not really good. But this time around, it's kind of different this year, because during Pisces season, we've got Jupiter, which is the planet of investment and abundance, in the sign of Pisces. But we also got Neptune, which is at home in the sign of Pisces too. But Neptune talks about dissolution. It talks about losing stuff sometimes. So either, I think there's going to be like two tracks happening at the same time. One being assets being dissolved, or we can talk about a crash. First some maybe stocks, maybe Bitcoins, but also at the same time, people are going to gain money. So there's like two tracks. I think they're going to be parallel at the same time. But the big difference, and I think the major aspect that are going to differentiate whether it's going to be good for you or bad for you financially, is that Jupiter is the planet of truth, integrity. So I think we're going to see disappear lots of maybe cryptos, maybe stocks that are linked to let's say, the shadow side more, that have dark type of investors. So everything that is linked to the old world and is not in alignment with our evolution, I think is going to fall during the month of March. And also in astrology, when we're in the season of Pisces, as we are right now, it is the last of the 12 signs. So it means that we're clearing energy during the season of Pisces. It's not, we're like preparing for the new cycle, which is going to start at the end of March. So it's going to be the Aries season. It's going to be the start of the new astrological season. So we're preparing for a new cycle. But while we're preparing for the new cycle in the Pisces season, we're letting go what is not aligned with us anymore to travel, to prepare for that new travel, so to say, when Aries season starts.
Wow, that's also in line with a lot of the Webbot data where we're saying we're going to have these two worlds. One is the destruction and the war going on, but at the same time as that's happening, maybe for the next 10 years of these structures crumbling, we are also going to see the build out of the new financial systems, educational systems, healthcare systems. So we're in this crazy time of juxtaposition, I guess, and where you fall is whether or not you're in alignment with your soul contract, on whether you're on the destruction side or building on the new side. That's fascinating. Lakeside Lera says, LOL, JC Defons. Hey. Oh, man. I used to watch that show when I was a kid. I used to love it. Happy Days, of course, was the name of the show. Do I look more like the Fonz? Do I look more like Zoolander or Fred?
I watched that too, yeah.
Maybe
Zoolander and the Fonz.
What was that, Julie?
I said maybe a mix of the three.
A mix of the three. Okay. Well, I guess I'm in good company. Save maybe Fred Flintstone. I don't know about that one. But anyways, yeah, somebody says we need the laughs tonight. Yes, we absolutely do. It's been some crazy, crazy times. Joe, in your conversations with Woo Woo Dude also, what can you recap? You did a show last night. Let me bring this up for the audience as well who haven't seen it. Guys, go check out this last interview with Richard from yesterday afternoon. You can find that here on JSNIP4 too. Maybe recap 2 or 3 of the points here. Take the next 2 or 3 minutes to correlate what Julie was saying here from the astrological standpoint to what Richard was also getting from Spirit.
Well, I will say to start with, you know, he calls me. He's like, Spirit told me to get AMP, this coin called AMP. Because I haven't bought it before, but I bought some. You know, Spirit's telling me that this thing's going to move. So, okay, so I buy some right away. It messes up on my phone, and I think I didn't get it, so I do it again. And the next thing I know, I get 2 orders. So I paid twice, but I got my coins. And I do a Patreon post. Hey, guys, you know, Voodoo called. This damn coin's up 30% since yesterday. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man. Like, and I go to CoinMarketCap in the morning, and it's the top coin on the top 100. Leading the pack. It was up 30%. The next thing was like 20-something%, and then, you know, 18%, whatever. I was like, son of a bitch. Every time he gets something like that, it's like almost never fails. But yeah, you know, he's been talking about a lot of this stuff for quite a while about what was, you know, some things we have to prepare for. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like I mentioned, his girlfriend, you know, Julianne's an incredible psychic and channeler. And she was telling me, you know, like, I see the war front coming to our soil this time. Mm-hmm. Like, I see boots on our ground. Julianne, right there. And you can get there to woowoodo.com as well. She's on that site, which forwards you to there. But so I'm like, okay. And then she started talking about the whole thing with, you know, eminent domain. The government's like, oh, you have that. We need it. We're just going to take it. F off. You know, that kind of thing. So I read today too, I read the thing from like the Border Patrol. We're asking any Border Patrol agents currently dealing with the influx of immigrants on our southern border, if any of you voluntarily would like to go to a different border over near Ukraine. And you know, the headline was like, you know, they're trying to get our guys to go. And I go, well, it does say voluntarily, at least now. But I'm like, it's Border Patrol. These guys aren't the military. It's the Border Patrol. You know, so it's like, oh, let's take them away from the border. Put them over to this nonsense we should be messing with anyways. Now our border's even more wide open. Who's going to come over? You know, and remember, Woo Woo Dude had some. I forgot he said if this was a dream or a vision he got, but where he said, you know, they showed me walking up to a cell, like a jail cell, and Spirit goes, "Wake up!" And then like a group of like Asians woke up, and then he does it again, a group of Mexican looking Spanish people, whatever. I'm not sure what country in particular, but Spanish. And then there's the Middle Eastern. Everyone's waking up, and I go, oh, sleeper cells. He goes, yeah, exactly, sleeper cells. And this is a while back. So he goes, they're here. He goes, they're here, and at some point it's going to be, go do your thing. So let's get rid of all of our troops. Let's go send them over there to help Ukraine and NATO and Border Patrol. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Force them to get
and also reduce their efficacy by
That's right.
yeah.
Or the ones who said, I'm out of here.
Right.
Like I'll just get my discharge and I'm gone.
Right.
And I saw some liberal leftists commenting about we should send the unvaxxed over there. And that they had a previous comment. Or no, not the unvaxxed. We should. And they go, yeah. Why do we need to send the unvaxxed over there, lady? They took the unvaxxed out of the military, so now you want to put it right? Like, duh. First you want to get rid of them. So that's these leftists are insane. But
let me get Julie to chime in on the war front also, because there was another, I believe, a French astrologer from France who was saying that actually Canada might be saved a little bit, but we might see some difficulties in Europe, specifically France. But let's see also what they were saying about the United States, if you recall, Julie. But before we do that, Silver Maple, JC is Fred Flintstone, JSNIP4 Clouseau. Inspector Clouseau, let me see. Inspector Clouseau, does that make sense?
I don't know if I know.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Julie as Mona Lisa. Julie as Mona Lisa. Well, kind of.
I'll take this one.
We'll take that one.
A little thinner Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Mona Lisa's a little thick.
Maybe when Julie had more of her baby fat still. I don't know. Maybe we could do that. Oh, that's fun. Thanks, guys. And if you can bring up another trio, I'll try to bring it up on the screen. We're just having fun, of course. Julie, let's talk about that astrologer. I forget the name you were mentioning, but they were saying that actually here in Canada, we might be saved a little bit as compared to Europe. But what was also in the cards for maybe the States, which aligns with what Joe was saying here, maybe boots on the ground here.
Yeah, I think she was talking about, Katia is her name, if I remember correctly. She was talking that she was seeing lots of fire in Europe, specifically in France. She was seeing a civil war in France. And she said it was going to be pretty much like bad everywhere, but in Canada, it wasn't going to be that bad. So she said, from what she said. So, and of course, there's a Pluto return in the US. And she also said she was, at first, I think she was maybe seeing a possibility of civil war in the States. But then I think as time got along, she was like, oh, I don't think it's going to be as bad as initially predicted for the United States. But I remember she did see some kind of rearrangement of the states, or how it's politically divided. So she saw a change in geographic and of the states. So I remember that.
Okay, very cool. And Lauren is saying, Joe looks like Yul Brynner.
I'm looking it up.
Joe looks more like Dr. Evil than anything else. Come on.
Yeah.
especially with Ian meaning me on you. Like, you guys look at okay, Dale's coming back. He's like, no, JC, you look like the Fonz, man. Okay, maybe. I used to have a leather jacket like the Fonz in those days too. It was, yeah. And how do you call them? Those it's like leather boots, but like with the little, like very thick heels. How do you call, like
platforms?
Yeah, like kind of platform leather boots. Like this is the 70s, you know. Yeah, okay.
I love platforms.
Yeah. And somebody said Julie looks regal. Yeah, like she looks very regal. I think that was the first thing I thought when I saw her picture. Also,
Elmer Fudd. They're saying Elmer Fudd. Let me see.
Elmer Fudd. Who? You or me?
I guess.
Oh. Let me see.
That's a little too. I'd like to say yeah, but you know what? Nah.
But
No.
can you do his line?
Yeah. Oh, that wascally wabbit.
That's pretty good, man. Elmer Lowe. Oh yeah. What else did he say?
It said like I'm hunting wabbits or
yeah.
Wascally wabbit.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's funny. Okay, we're being detracted here, but fun times. Okay, you talked about AMP earlier. Let's talk about XRP here in the news as of late. And this was on mainstream the other day, and I said, oh, sometimes there's a little bit of truth in mainstream. Of course, in mainstream right now, they're saying that Putin is the devil and he's taking on an act of aggression, unprovoked, yada, yada, yada. Yet, at my show with Janine last night, we said, well, maybe it's not that simple. Maybe he is, in fact, liberating some people from this Khazarian mob. And Cliff was into that today in his BitChute channel. He was talking about how some of those Khazars had originally went from Kazakhstan to...
Did he show the logo?
No.
Logos?
No.
So the logo for Ukraine has this interesting little whatever logo. And those guys have a very, 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 very similar one from long ago.
Oh, that's funny. And you know, last night during this episode with Janine too, I'm see if I can bring up the slide here, but I was guided to ask her, hey, wait a second, how does this tie in to Kazakhstan? Because you and I, Joe, were talking about this last month too. This was the fall of the Illuminati capital. And I said, where were those guys fleeing to? And so now, apparently, Ukraine is a hotspot for these guys. They had organized a coup d'etat, so to speak, back in 2014 and started migrating to that area of the world. And also, if you go back and look at some of the speeches from Putin, which are not like mainstream news here in the West, but he had talked about his gripe about these, I'll just say laboratories, to put it safely here on YouTube. And so he's after that. So those are very critical targets in the context of the world situation we're in now too. And last but not least, Joe, Edgar Casey.
Yeah, I have that here to read it. I want to read it. That's one of my things I sent myself.
Right.
But I'm also hearing that those labs, and when we talk labs, we're talking Wuhan.
Be careful, Joe, because 2 guys got booted yesterday for even getting close to that on YouTube.
Especially Wuhan.
Yeah.
Interesting place.
Yeah.
In Taiwan.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So Wudu's been warning us, watch Taiwan, watch Taiwan, watch Taiwan.
Yeah.
So let's get into
Edgar
Casey thing.
Yeah.
And what was it? This one?
Yeah, and with that Mercury Saturn conjunction with the censorship, we need to be extra careful.
Yeah, well, who got a strike there just recently? Joe got a strike too. And the last time this alignment was up, Janine got a strike. And I, of course, have lost my channel a few times already. So I'm the worst, what they call the repeat offenders here, egregious repeat offenders. But speaking of Edgar Casey very quickly, somebody gave me a book when I was 16 years old, and it was Edgar Casey talking about astral projection. And that's what got me on to all of this meditation, getting out of body and all that. So I was fascinated by his books at a very early age. And I have to thank the individual who gave me that book. I forget their name, but they were an acquaintance of family members. And I'm like, wow, that brought me on the path. And today, almost full circle, was, of course, what I'm doing here on Beyond Mystic. Joe, what did you want to bring up to the audience here regarding Edgar Casey's predictions?
Well, first, I'd like to say one time me and JC were either going to or from New Mexico, and we got a room. We shared a room, so it was 2 beds, and he was snoring kind of loud, okay? So I couldn't sleep. I think he was in the middle of an astral projection, so I'm like, let me just go over there and just rub his shoulder, like just shake him, like, hey, like roll over or something, It's the middle of the night. I'm tired. He's snoring. So I go over there next to him. I start to put my hand out. I don't even get within a few inches of him. And he must have been astral projecting in the room watching me do this. Because he wakes up and is like, ah! I'm like, whoa! We're like both screaming. Like, oh, ah! I'm like, I didn't even touch you. How the hell did you know I was there?
Yeah, you hit my energy body way before you hit my physical body. But you scared the shit out of me, and I screamed so hard.
Got scared, and then him yelling scared me. I was like, man, you were just snoring a little bit. I wanted you to roll over. Like, I
gotta warn people: when I sleep, I have a third eye that's open all the time, and I can hear
lying.
Yeah, I can hear the slightest thing. You never know.
He's not lying. I wasn't making a noise. I just tiptoed over there. It's like. Because I was thinking, like, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to say something while he's sleeping? Maybe I should just touch his shoulder, So I'm like, okay, I'll go do that. And before I even got it, 5 inches or so, he's awake.
Grand Illusion says JSNIP was rubbing JC. No, that sounds wrong, man.
Yeah, I never got to that point. Okay, it was over.
Yeah, that's for the R-rated show. It's called 3 Dudes in the Desert.
Yeah, and 2 in a hotel. Bonus scene. No. So
But I gotta tell you, those hotel rooms, I get so stuffy. It's so dry, and
I
it's
know.
the worst for me. I can't sleep in those. It's horrible, and especially
Yeah.
those highway motels that you and I were.
Oh, I
were
know. We're like
crashing
some of
in.
them are full. You know, we
Oh,
have
yeah.
to like, all right, we're just going to settle on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there was a couple of times too. We had been driving like crazy amounts of the hours in the rain and all
oh
that.
yeah, through
and we're-
freaking Texas. You know, you're driving for a million miles until you finally
Yeah.
see a hotel. It's like, man, it's like late. You're tired. He's like, I'll take anything. You know.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Okay.
let's get on to Edgar Casey.
Back to Edgar Casey.
Well,
It's kind of related. I mean, or not. So, psychic Edgar Casey predicted Putin would save us from World War III. One of the world's most famous psychics, Edgar Casey, predicted that Russian President Vladimir Putin would be a force of light. Can you mute, JC? In preventing World War III from occurring amid the global turmoil we see today. His predictions were made over 80 years ago in a series of world affair readings about the future of world finance, world leadership, collective spirituality, and the important role Russia and Vladimir Putin would play on the world stage. Casey referred to Putin as the thorn in the side of the financial powers, who would try to organize themselves against the good of humanity in a post-World War II world. And I just want to say real quick, as you mentioned earlier, the propaganda press is out full swing. I mean, again, I've got two things I'll share in a minute. You know, whatever. They're using pictures from 2018, and this guy, guy was attacked by the Russians. A Russian tank ran over a car today. No, actually, it was a Ukrainian tank, and it was more of a missile system thing than that. So again, propaganda in full force. So my question, real quick, to everybody: we know what the mainstream media does. We know what side they're on. So when they come out and say something like Putin unprovoked attack on Ukraine, the poor Ukrainians, what do you think that means? If they are supporting Ukraine on the mainstream media and demonizing Putin because of what we know how they work, what does that automatically tell you? Right? So Casey referred to Putin as being the thorn in the side of the financial powers who would try to organize themselves against the good of humanity in a post-World War II world. When asked in 1932 about political and economic trends in Europe, Casey zeroed in on Russia. Quote, Europe is as a house broken up. Some years ago, there was the experience of a mighty peoples being overridden for the gratification and satisfaction of a few, irrespective of any other man's right. The peoples are going through the experience of being born again, and is the thorn in the flesh to many a political and financial nation in Europe, in the world. Question, what is the name of that nation referred to? Answer, Russia. So 70 years after the defeat of the Axis powers, Russia has been reborn, but the rest of the world is now largely under the thumb of the Western globalist banking cartel. This is the article. The cartel is organized as the IMF, the World Bank, the Bank for International Settlements, and the global network of central banks, reserve banks, development banks, and investment banks that hold the world's elected governments in perpetual receivership and the world's people in bondage to mathematically impossible debt that cannot be paid. So that's pretty much, that's enough of that for now. So that comment is correct. So again, I have to ask the people, and I keep going back to this. I've been saying this for a while. I know Trump's not in power, but somebody else is who's doing a fantastic job in some ways. And, that fantastic may be looked at as horrible to other people. But again, if you don't know what's happening, it looks so terrible. That guy, Biden, is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. All of these things, as I've said many times, and it's my opinion, have to be done. It's not good. We don't want to see it, but it has to be done for the greater good, so to speak. So all this turmoil, whatever's going to happen, that's going to happen. Must happen. No matter how bad it gets, it must happen. And if Trump's in power, that stuff can't happen. Not under him. So he has a problem with the election. We know he's fighting that still. And this other guy, Biden's in charge. And all these things are happening under his watch. I mean, one after the other. But on the other side of it, it's like, well, why did they arrest that guy? Like I say, why did they arrest that Democrat? They're in charge. You cover yourselves. You help your friends. No, not this time. Everyone's getting charged. This guy's getting arrested. That guy's getting in trouble. Raided. Obama guy got nailed. So who is really in charge. And then after the dust settles, and I'm telling you, what woo dude, Joe Biden's son, there's going to be news on him one day. And I'll be like, yep, I got this text saved. Woo dude, now let's talk about it. And then after that happens, there'll be some news on Biden, Joe Biden himself, and then he's out of the picture. And maybe just in time for someone else to come into power. I won't mention who that is. And I think his name sounds like Bump, like a bump on a log. That guy,
like a bump.
Yeah. So, anyways, I mean, the propaganda press is out of control right now. They're showing all the whole thing. So again, I'm like thinking of my dream show of classroom. Remember that? Remember back in the Syria days, a classroom, and in the Iraq days, they did it there too with the weapons of mass destruction. This big lie. Oh, this factory this was a milk producing factory for kids. I remember that one from Iraq. Milk producing factory. They bombed it. Oh my gosh, Saddam. Oh, actually, it was a chemical weapons plant. Oh, well, they're not going to tell you that. So,
the babies in the incubators. Remember that one?
That was the first one. Yeah, that was the initial one. Yeah, incubator babies. Who was the little girl? She was the ambassador to the U.S., like niece or whatever.
Yeah.
Give me an effing break. So again, everything's a lie. Everything's a scam. Everything's propaganda. The videos.
Hold on, I want to bring Julie in on this, but Joe, just last night I was expressing the same thing. It's like, well, we just went through this in Ottawa. The mainstream press here and our prime minister was saying that the 2.2 million, of course, on Parliament Hill were misogynists, racists, terrorists, white supremacists, Nazi, all of that stuff. And I didn't meet any of those people. It was quite the contrary. So I'm like, okay, if the mainstream media is telling you one thing, it's probably the contrary. So is it possible here, what you're saying and what Edgar Cayce was saying, that it might be actually...
Edgar Cayce was one of the most recent, incredibly accurate psychic mediums.
Absolutely.
So Absolutely. I've read a lot about him in the past. I used to talk about him quite a bit on my old channel but that was even years ago. I just stopped.
Before I bring Julie on, somebody said, so I'm also streaming on Rumble, and Jesse says, no, I got it. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis had a baby. It's JC. Well, that's a little bit closer. Dean Martin, of course, very suave, debonair, Rat Pack guy, and of course the comedian Jerry Lewis. Maybe, yeah, that's sounds a little bit funnier. Oh my God, yeah. Julie, Edgar Cayce prophecy. Are you a fan? And what do you make of this crazy flipping from the mainstream media when they say look left, you should probably be looking right?
Yeah, exactly. I love Edgar Cayce. My dad introduced me to him when I was younger, and he read a lot of his books. I did too. And yeah, I'm lucky both of my parents are awake, and they've been awake for a while, so it's really cool. And yeah, I didn't know much about the situation in Ukraine before everything happened recently. But as you said, I heard like the mainstream media say, look right. So I was like, something's wrong there. It must be the total opposite of what they're saying. And, bang on. So I watched the episode you did with Janine last night. It was very informative. Really liked it. So I have the intuition a lot more than we know is actually going on. And I was reading in this chat too, lots of people were bringing up really important information, interesting information as what could be there in Ukraine to be a want, like a desired territory for everybody. So I think there was lots of interesting theories about that. Biolabs, also the servers for the dark hats, maybe lithium. I heard like some type of material or metals, and also the political situation too with Kazakhstan. I think it was really interesting. Oh, you're muted.
Hold on. There you go. Joe, why don't you pick up some of Cliff's emails from today, see if you can pick and choose some of the highlights there. And while you do that, I'll bring up also his latest BitChute video. Guys, this is the Budo video from today. I believe it was earlier today or maybe last night. Do go check that out. We're in more time now, as he was expressing quite a few months ago that we would eventually be in open warfare. We're here now. And of course, that means a lot of things for the mainstream mainstream news. It means a lot of things for the financial system. He talks about how Canada was perhaps the tip of the spear in terms of trying to introduce these digital passports for the new banking system, and the bad people here thought that the Canadians would just roll over and take it up to you know what, and lo and behold, they didn't. So quite a kink in the overall plan here, and this actually backfired. Some of the extreme measures, as Cliff is explaining here, and I've seen here firsthand at some of my local banks here, they're having a lot of trouble with people withdrawing big sums of money. So the cat's out of the bag already, and as Cliff is saying in this video, this is not going to stop just because they said they won't do it anymore. They've shaken the confidence of the general public. They've woken up quite a bit of normies to the fact, and this is going to have a snowball effect, which could probably culminate here in the Ides of March. So again, going back to Julie's slide here, from February 27th, I believe, to March 4th was the first energy, or March 24th. Let me see if I can bring that back in from Julie here to the March 4th. But there was also, Julie, in preparation for the Astro Woo Finance for March, what do you see for the Ides of March here? If you can give a quick snippet for the audience members, I'll let you do that, and then we'll go to Joe, and we'll read some of those predictions from Cliff High.
Yeah, so in the astrology for March, as I said, there's a lot of planets being in the sign of Pisces, which is the sign of dissolution of the material, of losses, market losses. But there's Jupiter there, so it could be also a good investment possibility, because the prices are going to be probably very low for the stocks and the cryptos. And I looked at mid-March closely, and I think there's a possible crash of crypto, or maybe just a lot of volatility, because we have Mars and Venus that are going to square the planet Uranus. Uranus in Taurus is very much linked to crypto, and Mars and Venus together, they exert like a powerful force, and Venus is also a planet linked to financials. So Mars and Venus are going to square, so it's going to put a lot of pressure on crypto. So I think mid-March is going to be maybe like the little either volatility period, or maybe a little crash that we saw with Janine recently. But I see definitely for spring and onwards, cryptos moving up in a general matter. I just think that there's going to be maybe a cleaning of those cryptos being made somewhere in March, because as we were talking, I think there's going to be more news coming out in the open about which one are related to dark stuff, which ones are more that are more aligned with our future and our values as a humanity. So I think it's going to be made more available as to which ones are more on the good side of things, maybe, and which ones are not. So it's going to be made public, I think. Lots of information are going to be revealed about those cryptos, and I think it's going to draw a line, in a sense, so to say, in between those types of cryptos.
Well, Cliff was talking about secrets revealed also. We'll get to Joe read on that. So folks, stay tuned here for the Astro Woo Finance, the personal zodiacs guide. This is a personal reading that combines both the astrology and tarot with Julie and Janine. We do these every month, and we are going to be recording this weekend here. So this is going to be the poster that you will see coming up first on the Insider Access Pass, and probably on Monday, available to the general public here in pay-per-view. As Julie keeps bringing up more of this astrological content to the show, both free here on YouTube and also for these pay-per-views, it's important to kind of understand your own birth chart. So Julie's just put up, I think, at 9 o'clock tonight on her channel, this video will air. It's called Birth Charts 101, and it's basically for beginners on how to read your personal birth charts. Now, if you want to get a personal birth chart so that you can follow along with us, Julie, tell us what you got here and what are the production times on your website.
So yeah, on maisonjupiter.com, I have the personalized birth chart. It is a digital product. So with your personal birth information, I make your personalized birth chart in a print format, so you can frame it and put it up on your wall and choose the color you would like. And also it comes with a digital booklet explaining the most important enlightenments in your birth chart. So it's kind of a good start to understand more of yourself, because I think astrology is such a good tool to have more inner knowledge and better understanding of ourselves. So yeah.
Very
And
good.
production time, it's about between a week and 2 weeks, depending on how many orders I have.
Okay, very good. And folks, if you want to get one of those for yourself, 10% coupon code here, BeyondMystic, in one word. We'll give you 10% off the charts and also the tarot bookings with her lovely sister, Sophie. What are the next available appointments here? They're actually going up on fire.
Yeah.
She's extremely busy on the website here. And let me show you guys what people are saying. But Julie, tell us how and what her schedule is looking like for now.
I think right now we're talking about booking for mid-April. So if you would like an appointment, it's a tarot consultation with the lovely Sophie. She's my sister. She's very good. I love her very much. And lots of people are booking and rebooking again. So I guess it must be a good sign, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. And of course, we have a lot of testimonials here, and we have quite a few people from our moderators list who've also had readings with Sophie, who've agreed to come on and give a live video testimonials. So this is coming up on the show very soon, but these are just some of the testimonials that Sophie is getting. And of course, if you haven't seen the Divine Feminine Oracle show, we will be back, I believe, next Thursday it is, with the next edition. And if you recall, Janine was on our first episode with the 3 Divine Feminines here. It was absolutely amazing. So go back and watch those previous episodes to see what that is all about. Joe, let's get into some of this web data and some of the predictions here from Mr. Clef High by email today.
Yeah, so he had said, effing cars and houses. No wonder I always preferred boats. He's having some car problems. You know, he was trying to find the right car. Can't get that one. They don't have that one. They don't have that type. It's not a diesel. Da, da, da. So he was like, shit. He ended up getting something though. So even though you can drown in your sleep, you know, referring to the boats, always preferred boats. Anyways, Ides of March. Then the next episode of Intensity seems to last about 25 days or so. Brief calm, 4 days, maybe 5, and then back shooting up tensions again. Stay frosty because crap is happening. Then he sent another one. The secrets revealed, the emotional building tension wave really takes off on August 1st this year. Runs for nearly 24 months afterwards. That's 2 years. Major unexpected events, lots to do with money, lots more in history and UFOs. Super shocking stuff emerging from July 28th through August 1st with a near-term peak that day that sets the trend line. The near-term finances and system peak closest to us now is March 16th. So there's the 15th, right? March 15th, 16th. I was just thinking about that date because, and it says many Canadian subsets for that one, for the thing about finance and system peaks closest to March 16th. So I want to mention I had that one dream I had where I saw Ethereum at $408. This was recent. And I've told people to keep asking me private million pray chart. I'm going, hey, don't forget my dream. And they didn't give me a time, but 408 Ethereum from 2,000 something dollar Ethereum, that's a hell of a drop. But in that, it was like a series of dreams I had that when that one happened. And one of them was me, you, and Dave. We found these gold bars in a castle, blah, blah, blah. And I just distinctly remembering the 3 bars, and there was this other piece of the dream, like it was a combination or something. But it was a 2-digit combination, and it was 1-5. And you already knew it, so I go 1-5. Okay, we're good. So 3 bars, 1-5, and I'm going 3/15, March 15th. And I thought of it then. I go, is there something about March 15th? I'm not sure what exactly, but part of the other dream was about this damn crypto and the price being 408. So I'm going, I don't know, but I mean, a lot of things I'm thinking of was we may have a nice rally in March and then we crash into April or during April. But that's monkey mind and other things I'm looking at, not necessarily my dream. So anyway, so, now he's talking about March 16th and this, and I'm going, the bottom line is, though, I think whatever happens with this, the crypto crash part of it, it's probably going to recover fairly quickly. and go up to new highs. So one other thing Cliff had sent us, actually a couple more things. Managed. Oh yeah, so he talked about his car. Rumors are tens of millions of dollars coming across the border in British Columbia to banks here in Washington State. So that's one thing you mentioned. And then I think the final one. Banksters are in a tight bind. Their financial systems are crumbling, but no cover of real war for the destruction of the system. South African banks and insurance companies now withdrawing money from Canada and Australian banks projects due to instability. This may be a cover for having taken a big hit with the Evergrande in this fiasco in the CCP. Anyways, my friend in South Africa, or is it Saudi Arabia? He just said SA, who manages a large Tremarin factory, is telling me that their bank is talking to customers they know to have crypto experience, such as him, and he accepts cryptos as down payments on large boats with multi-year build times.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, FYI, we are in the bowl and we are swirling right now. This is happening. So
we're swirling and we're getting into this panic to own that was forecasted way back when in the Webbot data. Let's get into this a little bit here, Joe. You and I have been really busy in the last 2 weeks, especially since Canada decided to overreach here and freeze normal Canadians' bank accounts for no good reasons without any regulatory body oversight or even judicial oversight. It scared a lot of people into taking their money out. Julie has a personal experience with also her mother trying to get her money from her bank account to her cryptos, and the bank was saying no. They're doing everything they can to hold that line and keep the money, your money, into their system. But a lot of people have woken up to this fact now. Joe, explain a little bit what that original Webbot data report was about this panic to own and why we're in it now and why it's absolutely going to accelerate here, and that we encourage people to at the very least, start educating themselves very, very quickly here, because as Cliff is saying, by the Ides of March here, a lot will have transpired already to dismantle those old systems and bring us into this new sci-fi world. Go ahead, Joe.
Right, and it started with gold and silver, where there's same data, panic to own, and then cryptos come along, and like a couple years later, he's doing his reports, and it's like, oh, panic to own Bitcoin and crypto. That's interesting. It's really for all the same reasons. So I thought that was interesting. I go, wow, so it's both of those things, and that's when I'm like, okay, well, we need to get both of those now. Start talking to people about crypto. So the thing is, when this happens, it could happen overnight. It can happen over a few days. There's no telling. And again, Russia legalizing Bitcoin, Ukraine all of a sudden legalizing Bitcoin, some European countries saying, screw Russia, we need to take them out of the SWIFT system, we need to stop them. Germany's like, no, we need their oil, and gas, sorry. But nonetheless, I think they're gearing up to literally just flick a switch. Ooh, what was that? You're muted.
What was that?
Kidding.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes when I switch the slide deck too fast, we go to other slides that are on the slide deck. But yeah, this was me sporting my Galactic Warrior t-shirt. This is just a template that I'm probably going to put up on my new swag website. So I was just having fun with that the other night with Janine and Julie, and yeah, Jim says, nice guns, man. Somebody said, why is he wearing a baby t-shirt? I don't know what that one meant, but at any rate, yes, I've been working out a little bit, trying to keep in shape here. But Joe,
yeah, so back on our thing here. So
yeah.
There's going to be a panic. He's laid out what he's got in the data. It's cliff high.
Mm-hmm.
Best he could. The best the data came out. It's been sitting there since 2015, 16, 17, essentially. And here it is. He stopped doing the reports publicly. He's still tweaking and messing with that thing and feeding us a little bit of things here and there that he gives us in emails. So he's clearly onto some stuff, because a lot of times he'll give us these time frames and all of a sudden, oh, yeah, he's right. Look, something happened. So there's a panic to own. The how, the who, the what, the when, the why, honestly, it's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a panic to own it. Why? Who cares? And if you're struggling when this shit hits the fan and goes down, and that's the time everyone's flipping out for whatever reason, again, whatever the reason is exactly, and they're panicking into crypto, if you are somebody new, to crypto, you're not going to want to just, oh, I got to get in. Oh, you're going to be emailing me, JC, Bix, Cliff, and they're all going to be like, go to Joe or we don't know because we already know Joe's got too much going on anyway. So I don't know, dude. Go join his Patreon or something. And in my Patreon, you need to know what you're doing. So whether you learn it from us, we don't care. I mean, yeah, you want to go to his site right there, BeyondMystic.net, buy our little crash course. It's great. I put it together myself. But you don't have to. You just have to learn this stuff, and you better hurry if you're not into this. Just in case. This is a just in case thing. And I always thought, would it hurt you to throw a little bit of money into these things? And God forbid, if we have this crash, and I'm feeling pretty confident to say we are because of my dreams really finally making me think in December, January, when all my numbers pretty much hit except for XRP. And in my dream, that one at 408, they gave me the new number for XRP, and it's quite a bit lower than the one they gave me a year ago that hadn't hit yet. And I'm going, whoa, okay. And I'm going to want some of that at that price. And I believe you're going to want some at that price too.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to navigate. How do I get it? Well, do I attach a bank account? Do I use a debit card? Where do I go? You got to figure this stuff out. Again, do it on your own if you want, but spending a lot less time watching our video because it's already there. I'm literally walking you through it. Here's where you go to the Coinbase. Here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. Here's how you take it out of there. Here's how you send it back. You want to do some other trading. Here's how you do that. Here's how you use the Exodus wallet. Like there's stuff in there, man. And
there's a few people asking in the chat about the cold wallets. Joe and I might do an addendum on that. There's quite a bit of demand for that. But essentially, guys, just going back here, this is really the Crash Course 101. This gets you started. What exchange to use, how to set up your exchange, how to do so safely. We talk about the KYC, know your customer rules on how to set that up. We talk about how to set up your wallet safely and securely for the first time, how to protect your seed phrases and all that stuff, and how to do your first transactions from the exchange to your wallet. So this is really, I guess, the 101 course here on how to get started. Most of our people who've bought this since last October are absolutely ecstatic because this is about 40 hours of research. Were you to go on YouTube, find all of this and do it yourself, and here it's condensed in one video with two guys that of course, there's the Blue Steel look and there's the JSNIP4 look on the video. We're having fun with this, but at the same time, we're sharing with you the years of experience that we have in putting this together. Now, we also did a security addendum last month. As Julie was saying, we were getting into this astrology here of all the scammers, and Joe and I kept getting emails about, people are trying to get me on WhatsApp and all these things, and there's many ways where they can get to your keys if you're not careful. So we did produce that video as well, but we're probably going to do one on the cold storage wallets here very soon. At any rate, right now, because we're into maybe the last moments here before this panic to own really hits in earnest, Joe and I put up this 10% coupon code here for you guys. BYOB. Bring your own booze to the party, to the crypto party, but really it's be your own bank. This is the 10% coupon code. It's valid for both the crash course, the 101, and also the security addendum. And yes, you can find that on beyondmystic.net /pay-per-view. Let me show you what that looks like when you log in there. There you go. And at the top of the screen there, you'll see the latest Astro Wu Finance episodes and these crash course here. Again, all very highly rated 5-star and 5.5 star for the security course. The security course is a little bit harder to get through. There's a lot of technical stuff in there, of course. But Julie, let's talk about what your experience is recently with taking the course yourself also, but also now the banking issues you're getting here as a result of these banking institutions panicking to the fact that people got wind that they can, in fact, become their own bank and not have to deal with the middleman anymore. Julie.
Yeah, so I did the course. Thanks, guys. It was amazing. I successfully did my first transactions with crypto, so I was very happy about that. And I have to admit, at first, when I was hearing about Bitcoin and crypto, I wasn't really sure about investing in it until I saw the astrology for 2022. And then I was sold. I was like, yeah, I'm going to need to get on with it. Because as of, I think, the late spring, May, and even further going into the summer and then the rest of the year, there is very good astrological alignments for crypto. So this is going to be like the time where it gains a lot of value. So I think, well, in the astrology, what I saw is that we need to get started before then, because when we get to that point where it hits big numbers, I think it's going to be even harder to start and get a hand on it. So I thought it was like the best moment to do so. And also, like, the prices are fairly low at the moment for most cryptos. So I thought it was like the best window of opportunity to do so. So I did it. And then I tried to do a wallet for my mom, because she was like, yeah, let's get into crypto. So I was like, cool. So I set her up, and then her bank refused to transfer her money to the Canadian exchange site. So she had to call them. She spent, I think, an hour on the phone with them, and they told her, no, we do not permit to transfer money to crypto sites anymore. And that's one of the biggest banks in Canada, and I think it's the biggest one. So I think this is a really good sign that they know they're in deep shit, basically.
Yeah. Well, here's the minister just a couple of days ago saying here, pursuant to the power grab, that the banks now were going to proactively also freeze accounts to prevent bank runs. So this might have prompted your mother's bank as well to try to hold off here, because that bank that you mentioned, we don't need to mention it here, previously could transfer to this Canadian exchange. And this is why Joe and I have been harping on this for such a long time. When we get to these panic moments, this is what happens. They close the gates on you, and they make it harder and harder. And so instead of getting set up in a couple of hours worth, like Julie took the course, in a couple of hours she had her first purchase and her wallet securely backed up. Now that could take you a couple of weeks. And we saw that when Bitcoin hit 20,000, Joe, the first time, where people couldn't even register accounts on exchanges. They had to rent other people's exchange accounts. Explain that a little bit, that panic, and why it's so important to be maybe a day early as opposed to even 1 hour too late here.
That's right. And if you think about it, I know that some of these banks that won't let you transfer money from your account to, say, Coinbase or whatever exchange, they will not stop you from taking the money from the exchange and putting it in your bank. They'll let that happen. Yeah. And I know this. So think about that. No, leave your money here with us. But if you got money to bring to us, we don't care where it comes from. Just bring it in. So during this crisis that is potentially coming here, like you said, if you're locked out, you're going to have to deal with these things now. You're going to have to find out, oh, well, I did all the things in the course, but I can't attach my bank account. Why not? Who's your bank? Oh, that's why. So you're going to have to figure out, well, what do I do? Do I get another bank? Do I go across the border to USA and open a bank there? Can I do that? Maybe. What was your question, though? I feel like I don't.
Well, Go ahead, Julie. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just saw the comment here, Robin, saying banks in Canada are limiting amounts allowed to be withdrawn per day. In my case, in my bank, because my mom and I have different banks, my bank didn't allow me to transfer, let's say, more than this amount of money. But for her case, they did not want her to transfer any amount. So big difference here.
Well, Joe, let's talk about, again, why it's easier when we're not in panic mode. We're already in panic mode. This has started, but also some of maybe the workarounds here with some brokers out there to whom right now banks could still let you transfer or wire transfer big sums of money to get into the crypto as well. We might have to do an addendum to explain that, but just briefly here for the audience member, why it's important to be early as opposed to even 1 hour too late here.
That's right. It's the same thing apply. This is literally no different than the case when you need your generator and you don't have one. In Florida, we're watching, and there's a hurricane coming on the Gulf side. It's going to be on the Tampa side. Okay. Was it going to come this way? Oh, wait. I don't want to go buy a generator right now unless I really, really need it. Oh, it's going out of the Gulf. We're good. Oh, no, made a hard right turn. I got to go to the generator. They're all sold out. Can't get one. Now your power's out. Days are going by. You're sweating like a pig out here in freaking Florida in the hot sun. And you're dying. I'd pay thousands of dollars for a little basic generator. Please, anyone have one? Nope, we don't have them. This is the same thing. You're in crypto. You need to be in crypto. Like Woo Dude has told us a whole bunch of times, you got to have cash on hand. You're going to need that at some point. You got to have crypto on hand. You're going to need that at some point. And you've got to have gold and or silver on hand. You're going to need that. Like you said, it's going to be a wave. You're not going to need them all three at the same time. You need it, as we go through this craziness of waves that's coming, You'll need one at one point, one at the other point. So why stress yourself when the panic set in? Because number one, when someone's panicked, you typically make terrible decisions.
Yeah.
And you're going to go out online. You may go to a Telegram group or something, and next thing you know, some hackers trying to, I'll help you. You know, you can't get through on Coinbase. They're not answering. Well, guess why they're not answering? Because everyone else is panicking. They're all trying to get in there. You're trying to get in there. They don't have enough manpower to deal with you. The site's not working properly. You can't even log in. Blah, 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 blah. They don't even get back to you for days.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had, for example, the Coinbase app or whatever, you could log right in. You've already set it up. Your account's already attached. It's been working. I bought a little bit. I transferred it out to my wallet. It worked. I'm good. You don't have to put $1,000 in here. Spend $50. Okay, let me just do a little test and move it out of here and do that. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing. I got it. Watch y'all's videos, or you figured it out yourself on YouTube. Great.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get caught with your pants down on this. And this time around, if we have skyrocketing prices coming, it's hard to even get in on exchange, even when you do have an account.
Yeah.
Much less not having one. Forget it. They'll just disable the whole thing where you're signing up new customers. I'm like, no, let's just let our normal customers log in so we can drop some of the bandwidth that's killing us right now. That, you know, it's like a denial of service attack happening, but it's just not fake or a hack. It's actually people trying to log in, and there's thousands of them.
Yeah.
So you got to have your shit set up.
And Joe, in your emails also today, Cliff was talking about the concept of him trying to get rid of FRNs, Federal Reserve notes. He's, of course, alluding to the hyperinflation that is also going to hit our shores here. So again, another reason perhaps to divest yourself of some of the old system infrastructure into the new. So again, guys, BeyondMystic.net pay-per-view. If you want to check that out, you can go online also and find it for yourself on YouTube. It's all out there. But at the very least, I think what the three people on the screen are telling you right now: educate yourself, educate yourself, educate yourself, and sooner rather than later. Julie, a lot of people had fun to Joe and my expense here tonight. So I did start a few comments where people were commenting on your look. So let's see if we can have a little bit of fun with you always. Ken says Julie looks like Goddess Venus. Yes, wow. Absolutely.
That's nice. Thank you.
Lakeside Laura says, ooh, yes, Julie and Melania both have off-world beauty related, maybe. Yes.
You,
and you know what? That's what Janine said the first time she saw you too. She says, oh, there's a hint of off-worldliness with this one. The force is strong with this one. I thought that was funny. So thank you, Lakeside Laura. And Deanne, let's go back to our business here. She says, hey, I purchased the, I guess the crash course here, but I couldn't access it. Okay, guys. So basically on your confirmation page, when you check out, you have the link and the password to see the episode. And also, if you log into your account, so let me go back up here. If you log into your account on the Beyond Mystic page here, just click on the members, you will see all of your past purchases. But if for some reason you still have trouble with that, just click on the contact form here. This is the contact form for the pay-per-view. There's a few examples of why you might not be able to view the videos depending on your browser security settings. But if you still, that doesn't help you, just fill out this form here. Tell me your phone number, your PayPal transaction ID, so it's easier for me to track your purchase and help you out. So Diane, I hope that helps. But for sure, we'll get you settled here. Once you find your email with your password, you should be in right away. And of course, you can watch, and a lot of people ask me that too. Oh, this is a little bit complicated. Can I watch it more than one time? Yes. Once you have the password, you can just pause, rewind, replay. There's a lot here for first timers. It's all there, but sometimes the learning curve can be steep. So just take your time and watch the video very slowly. Oh, wow. Thank you, JC, Diana says. Okay, good. So I hope that works, Diana, and if it doesn't, just send me an email here. We are sometimes a day behind on everything. It's just a lot of volume. So please don't mind if I don't respond to you within a few minutes of your emails here. That just doesn't happen anymore. There's so much volume. Joe, we're 8 minutes in. Is there anything else? Or Julie, also, I'll cue you after in the astrology that you wanted to bring up for the audience tonight. But Joe, anything else we're missing here? Oh, somebody was asking XRP. You started talking about it. Okay, Elisa just reminding me. XRP, baby. This whole thing about Russia and the SWIFT system, I was bringing that up while you were talking earlier for the audience members. But see how that ties in perhaps to XRP, and where XRP in a lot of astrology and tarot and also from the spirit world has big numbers behind it. So share that with the audience members who might be new to this whole XRP story. And
remember, XRP started with the 222 thing.
Yeah,
it started there, but Richard Woo dude said, look, they're telling me we got to use discernment. It's not just about this. There's way more to it. And then as the time went by, we start realizing, holy crap. And then the 222 happened, and then we have this thing with Ukraine, Russia, the thing you just put on the screen about SWIFT. Let's kick Russia out of SWIFT. As soon as I saw that headline, because I saw it too the day it came out, my whole body goes, this is it. This is it. It's going to be XRP. XRP is going to replace SWIFT. Oh my God, we got to have XRP, which I do, and many of my followers should, because I've told them from day one, like a long time ago, we got to get this. So we've been sitting on it. Again, yes, another ISO 20022 coin. This ISO 2022 or 20022 is like the gold standard, if you will. Just basically a standard of what coins should do and be capable of doing to work with this system or whatever. So it's one of them. There's a few coins that are on there too that are part of that system, but definitely XRP. So again, my dream showed 408 Ethereum, and I know whatever it's at right now, 70 something cent XRP was way lower than it is now. I want to just say that because if this happens, and I think it will, we're going to have one more opportunity to get some freaking cheap crypto. And if you're not in by then, God willing, you get in then. If you're already in now, but you got some extra cash, you may want to wait with that extra cash and see what would happen. It could be as early as this coming month. I don't know. I don't usually get dates or times, but I saw that clear as day. There was no interpretation needed. Whereas the gold bar, the 3 and the 15, I'm interpreting that. I don't know for sure if that means March 15th, but the other one wasn't. So XRP, we think, is going to replace SWIFT. Woo Dude said, whatever they're doing with this thing, I saw like bankers and high-level people shaking hands, signing agreements. Like I saw this happening like in a back room where it's not public. Nobody knows about this. He goes, but I feel like countries, people, big people have signed off on this. Everyone's like, yep. Okay, we're all happy. We're good. Now we just wait for something in the future to happen where we go, boom, flip the switch. And then all of a sudden, oh, this is what's going to happen. When that switch flips, that could be the time when the panic to own's kicking. Oh my gosh. And could you imagine having an opportunity to buy XRP way lower, or even at the current price? It's not exactly a bad price at 70 cents, but this coin's probably going to go ape. Dollars and then tens and hundreds, like probably quicker than most might imagine. So we're sitting here waiting on that. But again, we may have one more opportunity to get this coin cheap.
Yeah.
And
we have to say, just to be fair to the people who are just starting, waiting to get in cheap when you don't have anything might not be the best scenario. Maybe buy a little bit first now if you're just starting.
Yeah, if you don't have any, you should be in the market.
Yeah, you should be in the market. Yes, you can keep a little bit dry powder because you never know. Prices could go down. And as Julie explained, we're going to have some volatility in March, of course. And if you want a little bit more of a heads up on what's happening in March, please do join us for the Astro Woo Finance. This will be recorded this weekend. And I'm recording with Janine tomorrow morning, the Beyond Crypto Woo. This is the one also where we track coin by coin each month here to see the upwards or downwards movement. So this, and we also talk about all of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and we bring all of these news articles into focus for you guys so that you understand why you're picking the coins you're picking and why you should feel a little bit more comfortable at night knowing that you're on the right track. So this is, of course, for you, the Beyond Crypto Woo. Sorry, this is the monthly forecast show with Janine, and then, of course, the Astro Woo. And seeing as Elisa was asking about XRP, Elisa sent me an email also about the Starseed Envoy. I had Elisa on the show last year on my previous channel, and she was talking about her one of her main focus is activating starseeds. So go check her out at Quantum. I'll bring that in a second here. I don't remember offhand, but Julie, tell us what you think about this episode here, and for the people who haven't seen it, why perhaps it would be important for them also to get into their own soul contracts and missions.
Yeah, so I think this is a critical time for starseed activation. So if you feel like you resonate with the starseed concept or envoy, I think this one is for you. Personally, I got to ask all the questions I've ever wanted to ask Janine about starseed. So it was really amazing for me to get to ask everything I wanted to know. And I know lots of people resonated with the episode because it did answer some questions for them too. So I think we went really deep into the star seeds and the different federations, even the blood types, and how to activate your personal mission. But I think it was a really good one.
Yeah, it was really cool. So go check it out. Again, this is on pay-per-view. It's available now for everybody. This, if you want to take a snapshot, this is the episode layout and content. And let me bring that link down in the live chat for you guys as well. And Elisa, where is Elisa? Life transformation, I believe. Hold on. There you go. I wanted to bring up our website here for you guys as well. So there you go. So this is Elisa's website. She does hypnotherapy, and she is into activating star seeds. So go check it out at quantumlifetransformations.com. Elisa is also a member of our Insider Access Pass members. Greatly appreciate that, Elisa. Okay, so Joe, anything else? Can I go to the astrology?
I saw a comment. I saw a comment. I go, you know what? This would be a good thing for everybody. Joe, where do I get XRP? You can't get on Coinbase because of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
If you have the Atomic wallet, which is like Exodus, similar, it has a feature where you can buy with a debit card. It's powered by Visa, whatever. And I just pulled it up real quick just to see what I could do. And I just put in $2,000, and it said you will get 2,354 XRP. So they charge about 5%, it looks like, to do this. But you can get it. It's simple. You don't have to give your ID and all this crap. You can just use the Atomic wallet. Honestly, that's it right there.
And you can do, I believe you can still, at least you did until a couple of months ago. I haven't checked it recently, but you can also swap directly in your Exodus wallet. So you can go from your Litecoin or Bitcoin directly in Exodus as well. At least the last version I saw, that was still available. You can't buy it on straight out because they do now have an exchange service on Exodus, but you can swap it. Of course, you can use simpleswap.io and Mandela also. And we go through this in the Crypto Crash Course 101 as well. So
I just put in $5,000 and it would still let me continue. I'm not going to actually go through with it, but
you mean on
FYI with a debit card, it will let me put in $5,000 and let me go through. Like it's asking for my information.
Oh wow! Okay, very good. Julie, in terms of astrology, anything else you want to share with the audience, or any other thoughts? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to spill the tea too much for our Astro Woo episode, but just one last thing I wanted to share. On March 3rd, we're going to have the last conjunction between Venus and Pluto in Capricorn. So we had, at the end of 2021, we already had 2 conjunctions between those 2 planets, and both of them are related to finances. So there's been the Evergrande thing. Also, I think in December, we heard a lot about it. Oh, Olive now. Cool. So this one is going to be the 3rd one because we've got, we had retrogrades. And this one is going to be Mars, Venus plus Pluto conjunct. So for sure it's going to be something announced with the financial system. Maybe it's going to begin more of what we've seen, the collapse of the old banking system. At least it's going to be more made public, I think. And also what's really interesting about this alignment is that it falls directly on US natal Pluto. So also in their 2nd house, which is the house of finances. So I think it's tied to the US dollar, maybe the SWIFT system. But something's up for sure. And with Pluto, it talks about death and rebirth. So I think we can expect major changes. JC, you're muted.
Major changes indeed. Here's Popeye and Olive, Popeye the Sailor Man and Olive. I love it. Julie, I'll come to you next, Joe, for your Patreon. Julie, what can people find here on Maison Jupiter on YouTube? And again, one last time, let them know about the coupon codes here for Maison Jupiter.
So yeah, if you enter, I'll start with the YouTube. So I'm trying to upload even more English videos. I do a lot of birth charts during the days, so it doesn't leave me with lots of time to do YouTube videos. But I just uploaded one tonight, so I think it's going to be available very soon. Yes, it's there. So please subscribe to my channel. It helps me. It helps me grow and produce even more English videos, because I did start with more French videos and I got lots of comments. Where's the English? How can we get captions? So
okay,
I'm starting
JC.
today.
Speak. What did they say?
Speak white. Some guy told me that 20 years ago when I started my first job in politics. I said, minister's office, bonjour. And I was like, speak white. I'm like, what the hell is this? Anyways.
And your parents. No, your parents, remember? When they're
Oh,
eating.
at the restaurant. Yes. Somebody said that to my parents, of course. Oh, they were so insulted. I can imagine. That was crazy. Yes, guys, please do go. Come on. Go support Julie here. Let me bring that link down. And please click that subscribe button. She's also going to try to monetize this channel when she can here. So she's doing all this stuff for free.
I'm at 2K. Yay.
2K. Yeah, let's bring this up and click that subscribe button. And of course, help her out here also with the personalized birth chart so that you can follow along with us on these shows and get the maximum out of these Astro Woo finance shows and everything else we do astrology wise. You can do so here at maisonjupiter.com. And there, of course, if you use BeyondMystic as the coupon code, you'll get 10% off the birth charts and also the tarot readings with your lovely sister Sophie. Now, Joe, on top of the crypto crash course, we're going to do something on wallets here very soon. But for the people who might need a little bit of an extra hand, not to do everything for them, but what do you have for them here on the elite package? And do you have any spots remaining there for those people who need a little bit of extra support here getting their stuff organized?
Yep. Yeah. So the main package is the middle one there. It's $20 USD. The other one's 40, the JSNIP4 Elite. And that's just for people. I get quite a few people wanting like a portfolio review. Joe, do I have enough of this or do I have that? Percentage wise or whatever, that sort of thing. I do a lot of those, but sometimes people have a problem with something and, I know how to do that. Oh, do this, blah, 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 to get them to figure out how to use a wallet or something. Just basic support. You'll get an answer from me if you have questions, essentially. Guaranteed response.
17 spots left, Joe. Holy shit, that goes
17, quick, man. What number is out of the alphabet?
Very good. Okay, and on YouTube, what's going on here? You, like Julie, you've been busy lately doing other things and not putting up too much content here. What's coming up next for the audience here?
Yeah, nothing right this second as far as anything new. I just see certain things and I go, that's too hot. Only do it on Rumble, or okay, I'll post that one on YouTube and Rumble, or just YouTube, whatever.
Right.
But lately, I'm just like laser focused on studying this thing for my helicopter pilot's license, so that I can just, because you gotta, it's like any test. Remember the answer. Here's the question. Here's what they're gonna want to know. And there's a lot of shit about a lot of different areas, and when it comes to flying a helicopter and all this stuff and airspace and all this shit. So I'm just like, I'm trying to keep all this stuff out of my head and just focus on that. It's like I got to look and see what's going on today. What happened with Ukraine? What happened to Russia? What's crypto doing? I still got to look at all this stuff. So, anyways, right now I'm just really focused on that. Once I get that, squashed, and I go, okay, I'm official. Then I can just take a big, deep breath, and we may only be talking a month. I may be ready to go in a month. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Maybe. So we'll see.
I can't wait to see more footage of you flying there, and it's bringing up my confidence level to the next time you and I are in New Mexico.
were you in your helicopter?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because you're going to be like, hey, I
had a dream.
Are you sure you can fly? I'm like, you don't have any idea how many hours I've been flying already. This is just the first time you're stepping into this with me now.
I had a dream. You came to Ottawa to save me during the protest, and you crashed in the Ottawa Canal. So I was like, oh, I don't know, Joe. You were trying to save me, but I ended up saving you from frigid waters. So, Joe, I don't know. Oh my God, guys, do go check that out. Somebody was asking, JMG, can you confirm? Okay, so yes, if you're seeing Cliff on YouTube, well, he has his old channel. He hasn't produced anything else, but there's a lot of repeaters out there stealing his content, putting it on YouTube. No, the official channel is his BitChute. This is where he produces all of his content. So go check him out at bitchute.com/Cliff_high. And also for the audience members who are looking for those old WebBot data reports, Cliff on our last show with Joe, the temporal markers with Cliff High and JSNIP4, the WebBot reports. These are available on my beyondmystic.net/Cliff High. Don't email me. Just take a screenshot and listen. Beyondmystic.net/Cliff High. Very easy. And you can download those reports for free, but you know that these are, of course, the original unabridged reports. You can find them on the web, but they have been in many cases modified. So if you want to look at the original documents, you can find it there. And of course, the links to those are also within the Crypto Panic to Own crash courses as well for you guys. So guys, that was the amazing Wacky Woo.
Can I just say very quickly, thank you for everybody in the chat. I got so much love, and I appreciate your subscriptions and all the love. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Julie, for being on. Go ahead, Joe.
Somebody said, if you want to get a helicopter ride from Joe, disguise yourself as an Indian elder.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Oh my God. How do you get on Atomic Wallet? Just download it from the web.
Wallet.io, isn't it?
Yeah, I just had it earlier. Atomic, here you go. You guys can see it on the screen there. Atomicwallet.io. Yeah, it's free. Just download it. And we talk about this in the crash course as well as Exodus. I guess is probably the most user-friendly still, with a lot of coin options for you guys. Even the ERC tokens for the most part are all up there as well. So go check it out. Somebody else was asking one last question here. Hold on. Did I just miss it? Subscribe to Maison Jupiter. Yes. Sending positive karma. But no, somebody was asking a question about something. Oh, JC, about the silver bar. Oh, yes. I talked to Andy Sheckman again today. They did get trained on their new machine. And I'm going to have, I believe, from my end, the specs next week, so that Julie's actually designing the bar for us, knows exactly what to send them so that they can make the impression of the BeyondMystic bar. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks here, we'll be doing our first production run of the BeyondMystic 10-ounce silver bar. So that shouldn't be too long. I'll bring that up to speed. And next week also, Andy is coming back on, I believe, with Bix Weir. I'm not sure if it's that one or not, with Julie on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Andy and I are also going to show pictures of the winners of the 100-ounce silver bars. At any rate, what's going to be interesting here with Bix Weir and Julie, we're going to bring in the astrology, of course, with all of the technical analysis that Bix is following up on right now as it pertains to all the shenanigans on silver. And I wanted to show you this slide that I produced just before we go here tonight. This was Bix explaining just yesterday. We didn't get into silver here tonight too much, but let's take a quick 2 minutes here. Bix was explaining that just yesterday, there was about 1 million ounces worth of paper contracts that were dumped on the market, a billion ounces that was dumped on the paper contracts here in order to suppress the price of silver below the 200-day moving average. And that's important, again, so that the algos don't go on the wild side long in silver. So there's all these shenanigans that are still happening, but you can tell right now there's a lot of pressure on our precious metals, and they're still at their games right now, but they're long in the tooth. And if you look at the astrology and also the tarot behind the manipulators, their days are counted. So still, at these prices, their criminality are subsidizing your purchases here in the physical world of silver and gold. And on that note, if you want to get some physical silver in your hands, please do go check it out at beyondmystic.net/silver. These are the discounts available to the Beyond Mystic audience. And for the Canadian audience, we now have our Canadian MF Bullion affiliate program, and there you can find the Krugerrands at $5.69 over spot. So thank you, whoever that was asking about the silver. We almost forgot talking about silver, Joe. We would have got a ton of emails tomorrow morning if we hadn't talked about it. All right, so guys, this was the Wacky Woo. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you so much, Julie. And guys, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe here on my third channel. And we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.